Mrs. before you say.
Do the Karnak thing. The man who knows most about COAH. Frank.
Oh. No, you're the man who knows most about COAH.
Anyway, we're here this afternoon with the $13 Club, and very honored to have West Milford Zone Frank Hannan, who is a long-standing member of this club, but has also developed a great expertise on the impact of the recent COAH plans, affordable housing, and the interrelationship with the Highlands Act. And I know that he's going to give us a great presentation on that. So, Frank, great to have you here to be an official presenter.
Thank you.
All right.
You can tell you're at a Republican function when there's no teleprompter. And you have to pay for the lunch, because there's no free lunch with Republicans. And the speaker actually has to pay. But, first of all, I just want to thank you for having me today as a guest speaker. And one of the things that bothers me about the Highlands Act is all these people now that support it from the beginning are shocked that the state of New Jersey has screwed it up. I mean, to me, it wasn't shocking. Those of us who were against the Highlands Act to begin with, and who were labeled anti-clean water, anti-environment, all the other things, all the things that we predicted would happen with the Highlands Act has happened. The original stated goals of the Highlands Act were basically preserving the state's water and increasing the water supply for the expansion of the state's population. But right away, when you looked at the Act, it contained absolutely nothing whatsoever for the expansion of reservoir systems. There was nothing in there. Also, it had nothing. There's something like anywhere between 25% and 40% of the water that flows out of each and every reservoir from the northern and southern parts of our state gets lost in the delivery system because of leaks. There was nothing in the Highlands Act to deal with that problem. If you want to conserve water, easy. Fix all the leaks in the delivery systems, and you'll save a minimum 20 to 25% of the water. There was also water conservation measures were put in, especially this is the regional master plan, by the way. This is the whole thing.
The first book?
This is the book. This is Genesis 2. Genesis 2. And the people that lived in the Highlands are going to have all kinds of restrictions on water use. They will have to have shower restrictors, all kinds of different other devices that will have to be installed once renovations. The permit system is going to kick in to all these renovations. All these renovations have to be done. Low flush toilets, the whole works. But the people that use the water, like in Newark, where there's nice fountains flowing out in front of various office buildings, they have no conservation measures whatsoever. Okay, so the rationale was supposedly it was about conserving water, having more water for the citizens of the state, and keeping the water clean. What it was really about was politics, money, and land use. Okay, because when you have anything to do with land use, they want to control the planning process statewide. Basically, what the Democrats wanted to do, and that's why when you look at the original Highlands Act, in order to get the vote of the people of the legislators who were from South Jersey, they included $2.5 million. I think it's approximately $2.5 million a year for 5 years as aid to the pine lands in the Highlands Act. Now that didn't make a heck of a lot of sense to me, but it made sense politically because that's what they had to do to get it through.
What was that supposed to do?
Tax relief for those pine lands communities. And that ends, I think this is the last year they're going to get their 2.5 million. But what they had to do with the Highlands, with saving our water, I have no idea. But it had nothing to do other than that's how they needed to get the votes from southern Jersey. So, why should you worry, those of us who don't live in the Highlands, why should you worry about the Highlands Act? I think in this room, myself, Don, maybe we're the only ones that live directly in the Highlands. The reason is because The camel's nose is in the tent. Okay? Who is the most powerful official in the state of New Jersey, elected or unelected, on that daily basis can affect people, citizens of the state of New Jersey? Half the people in the state, more than half, probably 90% of the people in the state don't know. It's Lisa Jackson, who is the head of the Department of Environmental Protection. She is the most powerful person on a day-to-day basis for anyone in the state of New Jersey. Because basically they've set up their own kingdom. What they say is what happens. One of the things that was in the paper today, the Record, that talked about how the DEP has cut something like 10,000 jobs from 10, 15 years ago, and they can't do their job. Anyone who has dealt with the DEP, and I know many of you attorneys have dealt with them, it takes years and years and years to get decisions made because no one wants to make any kind of decisions. Okay, so it's really become a total disaster. So that's once people ask me, how environmentalists are all up in arms at how this thing got so messed up. It's easy because we turned it over to the state, the state of New Jersey. What's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be tried out in the Highlands. They're going to come down this way. Okay, we all hear about a water tax. That's going to happen eventually. It's going to be used to purchase open space, which makes a heck of a lot of sense for people like us. They're going to come up, buy land that can't be developed anyhow because of the Highlands Act, take it off the tax rolls, okay, give that person money for land that can't be developed to begin with. But that's what's going to happen. So all of the statewide are going to end up paying some sort of water surcharge, water tax. I think that Assemblyman Pt1 now is calling it something like a social benefits charge. I think that's the new name for it.
No, it's people.
Now the Highlands Council estimates to make landowners whole that it was going to cost $1.3 billion. Okay, the governor in his executive order funded $10 million of that, so they're only $1.290 billion short. The Highlands Conservation Association, which is a group of basically farmers from Western Jersey that's grown into to other people, an activist group, they estimate that it's going to cost more like $15 billion to make landowners whole. So there's not enough money in the state of New Jersey to make these people whole, and no one's talking about tax relief for communities like West Milford and Bloomingdale, who have to protect the state's water, be the stewards of the state's water, and not be compensated for it. We cannot increase our rateable base. We just have to protect the water. There are other things that are going to come down this way. There's an interesting thing in regard to lakes. Okay, they have this. If you go into this regional master plan, you'll see it. They're going to have different tiers on lakes, and this is going to happen. It's going to happen in Packanack Lake. It's going to happen in Pines Lake. The tier 1 is so restrictive that it's going to get down to the point where you won't be able to mow your front lawn. That you're going to have to replace the vegetation with the possibility you have to replace vegetation with natural vegetation. You won't be able to take down trees. It's going to happen. Because if that's helping to clarify the water up by us, they're going to want the water clarified down here also. You won't be able to repair your docks, okay, without special permits. Bulkheads, you won't be able to repair bulkheads without special permits. Won't be able to expand docks, won't be able to expand bulkheads. It's all going to come down this way, because once these regulations go into effect and they see how they work, it's going to happen. Won't be able to disturb people's views. Okay, that's we all know about the FAR. That's a good thing, bad thing. Architecturally, they're going to restrict what we can do architecturally up by us with different buildings. There's going to be lighting restrictions. Okay, in all of these plans, every one of these plans, the townships are going to have to develop. Okay, so the cost is going to be on the townships. There's some minor grants, but it's not going to cover anywhere near what it's going to cost.